What's the most inaccurate thing your child has ever been taught in school? My son's third-grade teacher told the class that Christopher Columbus proved the Earth was round in 1492 because everyone before him thought it was flat. Ethan came home that evening drawing pictures of medieval people standing at the edge of a flat Earth, terrified of falling off. He was so excited to explain how brave Columbus was for sailing into the unknown when everyone thought he'd fall into space. I sat at the kitchen table staring at his homework worksheet that asked students to write 3 reasons why people in the Middle Ages believed the Earth was flat. My PhD in medieval European history from Cornell felt like it was burning a hole in my pocket. I teach at the State University, and I've spent 15 years researching exactly this period. The flat Earth myth is one of the most persistent historical lies in education, and it drives me absolutely insane. I asked Ethan where he learned this, and he showed me his textbook. Copyright 2003. The page had a cartoon of Columbus on a ship sailing toward the edge of a flat disk, while scared sailors pointed at the horizon. The caption read, "Columbus bravely proved the Earth was round when others believed it was flat." I felt my blood pressure rising because this wasn't just wrong, it was the opposite of true. Ancient Greeks had calculated the Earth's circumference to within 2% accuracy over 2,000 years before Columbus was born. Medieval scholars, monks, and educated people all knew the Earth was spherical. The argument between Columbus and the Spanish court wasn't about the shape of the Earth, it was about the size. Columbus thought Asia was much closer than it actually was, and the scholars correctly told him he'd die of starvation before reaching it. He only survived because he accidentally ran into the Americas. That night, I drafted a polite email to Mrs. Delacroix explaining the historical inaccuracy. I attached links to primary sources from medieval texts that clearly described a spherical Earth. I included references to Bede, Thomas Aquinas, and dozens of other medieval scholars who wrote extensively about Earth's roundness. I even found her textbook's publisher information and included a link to the updated curriculum standards that specifically listed this as a common myth to correct. I hit send at 11 p.m. and went to bed feeling like I'd done my duty as both a historian and a parent. The next morning, I got a reply. "Thank you for your concern. However, this is the curriculum I've been given, and I need to teach what's in the approved textbook. Perhaps you could discuss alternative viewpoints at home." Alternative viewpoints, like historical facts, were optional perspectives. I showed up at pickup that afternoon and politely asked Mrs. Delacroix if I could speak with her for a moment. She was in her late 50s with reading glasses hanging from a chain around her neck and a cardigan covered in apple pins. She smiled tightly and said she only had a few minutes before bus duty. I explained as diplomatically as possible that the flat Earth myth wasn't just a small error, it was fundamentally changing how kids understood history, that it made medieval people seem ignorant and superstitious when they were actually quite sophisticated, that it gave Columbus credit for something he didn't do while erasing the actual achievements of ancient scientists. Mrs. Delacroix's smile got even tighter. She said she appreciated my passion, but she'd been teaching for 28 years and knew how to make history accessible for 8-year-olds. She said the story about Columbus proving the Earth was round was inspirational and helped